उनसे ज़्यादा तो बहुत सी सुंदर और भी महिलाएं लड़कियां हैं जो स्टार कैंपेनर हैं, हीरोइन हैं, कई कलाकार हैं, वो ज़्यादा हैं उनसे ज़्यादा.
They cannot just pass remarks of this fashion which reflects their ugly and dirty mindset and continue to get away.
एक बहुत ही गंदी निचली मानसिकता दिखाता है विनय कटियार जी की, जो उन्होंने प्रदर्शित की है. तो मुझे अफसोस है उनके लिए. मुझे लगता है उनको इलाज की ज़रूरत है, वो अपना इलाज करें.
Now we need a law wherein all these politicians who give all these misogynistic anti-women statements, they should be forced to vacate their seat.
मैंने कहा कि अगर कांग्रेस पार्टी को ये भ्रम है कि प्रियंका सुंदर है, उसके कारण से इसको कैंपेन में उतारा जा रहा है, तो गलत फहमी है. ऐसे इस प्रकार के सुंदर चेहरे तो बहुत हैं, हमारे यहाँ भी हैं, तो उसमें कमी क्या है? उनको उतार देंगे मैदान में.
ये बेटी की इज्जत से भी वोट की इज्जत बड़ी है.
बहुत बुरा लगेगा क्योंकि जो तुलना उन्होंने की है वो महिलाओं के सम्मान की जरूरत है.
लड़कियों की इज्जत को वोट की इज्जत के बराबर करना बिल्कुल ठीक नहीं है. लड़कियों की पढ़ाई, लड़कियों की इज्जत सबसे ऊपर है.
The respect of a woman is respect of democracy, and equally women is responsible for democracy.
नहीं, बिल्कुल ही गलत नहीं. बात ये ना कि वोट और बेटी की दोनों की जिस तरह मोहब्बत से, प्रेम से इज्जत करते हैं, जैसे बेटी से प्यार करते हैं, मोहब्बत करते हैं, उसी तरह वोट से भी उतना ही लगाव रखना चाहिए.
We're here tonight, viewers, talking about two more so-called leaders' misogynistic statements about women. And I want to take a moment, viewers, to explain why this is so worrying for me personally. Sharad Yadav's statement about the honor of a daughter not being as great as the honor of a vote once again reinforces the Neanderthal idea that a woman's honor is linked to sex. That a woman's honor is a thing to be lost, to be forcefully taken, to be lost by a family, to be lost by an entire village. It's this sort of thinking that leads to honor killings in our country. It's this sort of thinking that leads to victims of rape not reporting crimes. It's this sort of thinking that emboldens criminals to use rape as a means of revenge against a family or a village or an individual. Not to be left behind, Vinay Katiyar's statement that we have many more beautiful campaigners is about the misogynistic idea that women are decoration, not to be taken seriously. Decoration that can be replaced with more beautiful decoration at the will of the men who run the show. This is why India only has 17 women CEOs in the top 500 companies in this country. Why Indian men, and I'm not exaggerating here, this is data statistics, Indian men get paid 30% more than women to do the exact same job in all of the sectors across the country. Even if we stand alongside you with the same qualification and do the same job, we get paid 30% lower than the man who is standing next to us. This is why a recent survey showed that 4 out of 5 Indian women have experienced some form of sexual harassment in their lives. And here's what. As a message to our netas, women are not decoration. We're not here to amuse you. We're not here to embody your false sense of honor. We don't give a damn about your honor. This is not a country we want to raise our daughters in. And if the parties in question are serious, as they are, about saving the daughters and about women's rights, then these men on our screens tonight should be removed from their positions of power and these parties immediately. That is the only way that these two parties can show us that they are in fact serious. I am going to, at the beginning of the show tonight, open up the phone lines to all of our viewers to call us, because I know this is upsetting you as much as it's upsetting me, and it's time that we started to make our voices heard. Joining me on the show this evening, Ami Yagnik, spokesperson of the Congress Party, Brinda Adige, social activist, and Tara Krishnaswamy is a gender activist. Both of them join us from Bangalore. Rahul Ishwar is an activist who joins us from Trivandrum. Sujay Kantawala, senior lawyer in Mumbai, members of the Bharatiya Janata Party, will join us through the course of this conversation. I'm going to go first to Tara. Tara, a lot of times people don't realize why we simply can't let it go, but this is the seed of the problem in India. This is why our gender numbers are lopsided. This is why the kind of crime that happens in our country happens. This is why men are led and raised to believe that women are disposable objects of decoration.
Yeah. In fact, if I were a man, I'd be very worried now, because one of the statements that was made about some actors being more beautiful, basically says 50% of the population, which is men, vote based on someone's beauty, which doesn't attribute much intelligence to them. So men who should be worried for electing such politicians and such parties that give tickets to such politicians. The famous Holocaust quote comes to mind. You know, first they came for the socialists, then they came for the trade unionists. It's just a matter of time. It's easy pickings to go after women. It's election season. Skeletons are coming out of the closet. Dirty linens being aired in public. Next, they're going to find, you know, some caste to blame, some religion to blame, some community, you know, senior citizens, young people. Who knows, right? If this is the way you think, if this is the way you're going to approach the polity, then the next statement is totally unpredictable. This is the way you go after the vote bank, then the next statement is totally unpredictable. I would be worried if I was a man too.
Rahul Ishwar, are you worried as a man today that apparently our netas think that a pretty face is all that it takes to sway the voting populace?
We totally respect women. Please remember, whatever greatness we have attached, we attached to the female gender. We call India motherland, not fatherland. Always mothers are regarded higher than father. Always sisters are taken care more than brother.
All lip service,
it is familism versus feminism, and we stand strongly with a kind of familism where we respect a kind of womanism which integrates and accepts female and male uniqueness. Unlike a Western imported feminism,
you're giving me lip service, Rahul Ishwar. None of the numbers are actually adding up to what you're saying. If that were true, if what you're saying were true, and I hope to God one day we live in a country where what you're saying is true, Rahul Ishwar, but we don't live in that country today. The numbers of sexual crime against women are appalling.
I'll give you an exact number.
Give me a number. I have the data in my hand, but give me a number, please.
I'll give you an exact number, not by a right-winger like me. Not by a right-winger like me, but by a great left liberal economist, Nobel Prize winner Amartya Sen, who is on record saying, look at America, India doesn't even have 1/20th of the rapes that happen in America. This was not by a right-winger, this was by a left liberal Nobel Prize winning Amartya Sen, who is on record. I believe it was New York magazine, where he said, even if you multiply India's rape by 10, that is still far less than what happens in your ideal liberal progressive America. So please remember, India's strength is not feminism. India's strength is womanism and familism. We cherish and protect our female clan as a part of us.
So now that you're saying what you're saying, Rahul Ishwar, do you agree that these two gentlemen should be removed from the parties that they represent? That the member of parliament of the upper house of the Rajya Sabha who said what he said today should be removed from his seat of power?
Please see the intention of the words, not the articulation. Articulation, some people may not like it. But having said that, please see the intention behind these words, and let us not get tangled up in some kind of mere articulation and be oversensitive about these kind of things.
Okay, Brinda Adige, we've been told off again. We've been told off again because we are oversensitive, over-emotional and over-analytical. Do you want to explain to Rahul Ishwar why what was said today was offensive?
Yes, I am angry, I'm outraged that Sharad Yadav thinks that the voters are stupid people, because that is what he is claiming. And secondly, he goes on to objectify and commodify women across our nation. He does not attribute anything else, no intelligence, no strength, no power, no dignity to the women citizens of our nation. And Rahul Ishwar, if all those phrases that you have used, yes, we are sensitive, we are angry, and please do not talk to me or any other woman about any intention. We are not concerned or bothered with intentions. What we want to see is a responsibility. What we want to see is you have been elected into power, and we want to look at governance
and respect that you attribute to every citizen who has voted you into power. Do not talk to us about reason. Do not talk to us about any kind of motive, because we know that these politicians are not ashamed to make such derogatory remarks day in and day out, belittling women across the country, and don't give us New York statistics. Look at what is happening in India to our women every day. We as a culture do not want to come out and report, because there are these kind of statements being made by politicians applying the stigma completely to women. So don't give the statistics of New York or any other country for that matter. Please go and tell me if there is no domestic violence in any home in our country. Please show me why children and women are trafficked every day. Please show me why these cases are not registered in our police stations. Why is our system so fractured? Why is my governance so low?
Well, I'll tell you why, Brinda Adige. I'll tell you why. Because we have politicians who believe that a daughter's honor is the honor of a village and is the honor of the family. So when she's victim of a crime, neither the village nor the family nor the daughter herself actually wants to report it. Which is why the numbers that we were looking at our screen, over 35,000 rapes reported in our country, is a fraction, is a drop, is the tip of the iceberg of the crime that actually takes place in our country that never gets reported, because a lot of times the perpetrators of the crime are people who know the family and know the victim. A lot of times the victim of the crime is shamed into never reporting it, because we have politicians who constantly talking about their false sense of honor. Sujay Kantawala and Ami. Sujay Kantawala first.
I would agree with what Brinda is saying, and speaking as a man, as a lawyer, a citizen of this country, it is very, very derogatory, highly condemnable what these statements have come from these two politicians. They are public figures. They have to have immense restraint. They cannot talk like this, because this is completely, it sends out very, very wrong signals. Look what we are facing today in our country. And women have a right to be sensitive. They have a right to get so angry and pissed off at these statements. I'll tell you why. We have rapes happening. We have female infanticide. We have murder and torture of women. We have sexual harassment at workplace, honor killing, acid attacks. So already women are facing these kind of issues. We as a civil society have to stand up and have to protest. And therefore I'm saying that whatever has happened today is highly condemnable. It is derogatory to the voters. It is derogatory to women. And I condemn it. These people should be pulled up by their seniors.
Absolutely.
And they should be put to task. However high they may be placed, whatever election they may have won, they have no right to talk about women like this. They have no right to compare a woman to a vote. And that's it. And I condemn it. Let me say one more thing. Today we had the President of India giving his speech. He spoke so highly of women. Look, these people should hear the President of India and follow that kind of a person, exemplary man of character. They should follow our Prime Minister. Where our Prime Minister has taken India today, they should be looking at these two gentlemen, the Prime Minister and President of India, and they should learn and get crash course on how to speak, when to speak, and what to speak. Totally condemnable.
Gopal Krishna Agarwal of the BJP joins us on the phone line right now. Ami Yagnik, I'm going to ask Gopal Krishna Agarwal these questions, and then I'll give you an opportunity to respond to him. Gopal Krishna Agarwal, what action is the BJP taking in reaction to the statements that were made today by Mr. Katiyar? Will he be removed from his position in the upper house of the Rajya Sabha?
No. It is for the comments. The BJP does not subscribe to those comments. We respect its individual opinion, and that he has given clarification on it was in response.
You cannot respect his opinion.
He has given his. Mr. Vinay Katiyar has given his response to whatever.
That's a wrong thing for you to say, Mr. Agarwal. You cannot respect that kind of opinion.
Mr. Agarwal, the BJP respects. You respect his opinion. Please explain to me how you respect his opinion.
What kind of words?
Not his opinion. We respect the women, and it is his individual opinion. BJP does not subscribe to the opinion.
He spoke as a BJP MLA.
We respect. We have proper respect for them, representation in the party. We have women campaigners. The party is well appraised on the issues of women. We have even our Prime Minister several times.
Mr. Gopal Krishna Agarwal, will Vinay Katiyar be removed from his position of power in the upper house of the Rajya Sabha? That was my question.
That is the question which you should not ask a spokesperson. That question is going to the party. But what I am telling you is, it is his personal opinion for which he has given the clarification. It was in response to a question, and as far as BJP is concerned, we respect the women, we understand their importance in the society. We, in our party hierarchy also.
Mr. Gopal Krishna Agarwal, if you want the audience of this show to take this statement seriously that the BJP respects women, then here is an opportunity to illustrate that respect and remove this particular individual from his position of power. There needs to be action taken against such statements. You can't, he is at the end of the day a representative of the party. He is a member of parliament representing the party. If he's making such loose statements, just distancing yourself from the statement is not enough.
But he has given clarification.
What is his clarification? Please share with us how his clarification makes what he said okay.
That was in response to a question on a particular issue, and you can talk. He has given clarification to various channels.
I will play out the clarification that he gave to our network today, Mr. Gopal Krishna Agarwal, when he was asked if he will apologize. This is the clarification. This is the response that he gave to the women of this country on whether or not he will apologize. Let's listen to his clarification.
आपके पर्सनल ओपिनियन में why has she been made the star campaigner? क्यों उनको सेलेक्ट करा गया है? आपने एक स्टेटमेंट भी दिया था सुबह इस बारे में.
नहीं, मैंने कुछ नहीं दिया है स्टेटमेंट. सवाल है, आप लोगों ने पूछा तो मैंने बोल दिया. अब सवाल ये उठता है कि कांग्रेस किसको, ये उनके पार्टी का मामला है, किसको स्टार कैंपेनर बनाते हैं, किसको नहीं बनाते हैं, ये पार्टी का उनका अंदरूनी मामला. मैं उस पर कोई कमेंट नहीं कर सकता हूँ.
पर आपने ये कहा था कि जो चेहरा प्रियंका गांधी का है, ऐसे बहुत और सुंदर चेहरे हैं जिनको यूज कर सकती है कांग्रेस पार्टी.
कांग्रेस पार्टी यूज कर सकती है, ऐसा तो मैंने नहीं कहा कि और कांग्रेस पार्टी यूज कर सकती है. मैंने कहा कि अगर कांग्रेस पार्टी को ये भ्रम है कि प्रियंका सुंदर है, उसके कारण से इसको कैंपेन में उतारा जा रहा है, तो गलतफहमी है. ऐसे इस प्रकार के सुंदर चेहरे तो बहुत हैं, हमारे यहाँ भी हैं, तो उसमें कमी क्या है? उनको उतार देंगे मैदान में, कोई दिक्कत नहीं होने वाली है.
तो आपको लगता है कि प्रियंका गांधी को इसीलिए उतारा है?
सुंदर चेहरे को हम मैदान में उतार देंगे. This was the response. Ami Agnik, this was the response. And then later in the day, when the gentleman in question spoke to Times Now, he said, what should I apologize for? सवाल ही नहीं उठता, मैं sorry क्यों बोलूं? This is the evidence of a party that allegedly respects women.
First of all, I think he has not only shown his individual mindset, but it is really, really very shocking and shameful that he gets away with everything. He says he will not apologize. Now, where was the question of him bringing his own women campaigners in the dialogue which he was talking to or having with the person who was questioning him? He has practically insulted all the women because he has tried to objectify. If he does not have that kind of mannerism or maturity, then he is not fit to be elected also. But now that he is elected and he has gone so far as making such kind of bold, shameful statements, and his party now says that it was an opinion. His own female lady spokespersons are defending him by saying that it was an opinion, not a statement. So he is getting away with that also. The party distances itself from his statement but not from him. And here we find that somebody also praised the Prime Minister that, well, he has taken this country forward. Then he is the person who should take the strictest action against this man and say that, well, you are not fit to be in my parliament where I am there, and you please now vacate this place and you learn to behave yourself. Now, on one hand, we have got numerous laws which uphold the dignity of women. Day in and day out, we have legal awareness camps where we tell the women to knock the doors of the courts to get justice. so that that dignity is upheld. And here we find that a man, none less than the MP, goes and makes such statements like beauty. Well, he's not wrong, because he said that we have heroines, we have artists in our party, and they are going to be star campaigners. I think their lady politicians also should feel bad, and they should take up the issue. But none of them has come forward to reprimand him. This is practically disgusting for all the women of the country. Who is he to make a statement for anyone for that matter?
Rahul Ishwar?
There are two things. See, there are many statements that we don't like, but that doesn't mean there is no freedom of expression. He didn't do some kind of a hate speech. He aired an opinion which many so-called feminists and liberals don't like it. So be it. It's only a matter, and even Venkaiah Naidu ji went on record to condemn it. But more than that, asking for it is taking it too far. These feminists are being over-touchy, over-sensitive, and this is a land where people can even say Bharat ki barbadi tak jang ladegi, and no liberal has a problem. Even when people can say that India should be torn into different pieces.
Let me just point out.
And on the other side say, if there is something, we cannot be over touchy on these kind of issues.
But let me just point out to Rahul Ishwar, as a feminist, I am over touchy, I'm over emotional, I get angry very easily, I can't keep control of my emotions, I get offended very easily, and here's one such example. But I have a lawyer, a male lawyer sitting
that you
next to me.
consider you're over touchy.
Tell me, over touchy. Chalo, let's take that as well. Women are over touchy about things that are said about us. Let's now refer to a man, because apparently we are incapable of logical thought and we need to constantly check with the man. Sujay Khandawala, does freedom of speech and expression allow people to say things like this?
No. Freedom of speech and expression is tempered with restriction, with regulation. No one can get away with these kind of blatant statements. They are highly condemnable and derogatory. And speaking as a man, I'm saying this over here on national network. This is highly derogatory. It has to be tempered. It has to be restricted. They should know what to speak when they are sitting in public places. And now, unfortunately, this exposes the total mindset. Is this the kind of a mindset that we are facing? These are the people who are sitting in important places. Then how will women in this country deal with the issues they are facing? Rahul, think about it, the women in this country, what they are facing today. They are facing rape, they are facing acid attacks, they are facing sexual harassment. When will these issues be solved? Please think on those lines. We have to be sensitive to these kind of issues.
Just 2 lines.
And 1 minute, Rahul.
Just 2
I have
lines.
great respect for you. Please listen to me. We should nip this in the bud. We should not allow this to ferment. Otherwise, this will become a monster. Please, with folded hands, I'm requesting you. Let's not encourage these kind of things. We have to respect our women and shoulder to shoulder work with them. Otherwise, where will we go as a country? Please think of that. Think of the larger issue.
Absolutely. I 100% concede your point. Just 2 lines.
So Rahul Ishwar, I just want to point out to you, is Sujay Khandawala not being over touchy about this problem?
India has one of the lowest levels of rape in the world.
No, Rahul Ishwar, is Sujay Khandawala not being over touchy about this problem because he's not a feminist?
Very well-intentioned man. Just 2 lines. No. See, please understand. See, there is a strong woman movement. I understand people are very sensitive. Let me put in nice words. But please don't underestimate and undermine India in a total sense. Please listen to a left liberal Nobel Prize winner. If we go by statistics of rape, India has one of the lowest levels of rape in the world.
But there's nothing to be proud
Office
of,
of
my
Drugs
friend.
and Crime
There's
found
nothing to be proud
the incidence of rape
It's
in India
shameful
is
that we have
1.8
rape.
per 1 lakh.
Even one rape is shameful.
This is because of our culture.
Rahul, even one rape is shameful. Please understand.
Brinda Adige, you want to respond to that? Brinda Adige actually works with rape victims on a daily basis. Brinda, please respond to that.
If you want to look at statistics, please look at the conviction rates and the statistics of that. Less than 5%. What does that show? Even when 100 cases are registered with an FIR, you have people sitting in the courts, you have public prosecutors who are unable to prove, and because of which they are not convicted. 1. 2, because of the so-called culture, the first punishment meted out to the rapist is for him to get married to the victim, to the survivor. 3rd, and again it will come back to the first one, constantly appropriating the crime, the stigma to the woman. This is what we are oversensitive about. We are angry about. This is my culture that has been talking to me for the last couple of 100 years only, that you should remain silent, because when a man rapes you, you provoked it. If a man molests you, you provoked it. And this particular politician is no different. He has made the same statement continuously, talking about women as objects, women as showpiece, women as somebody who has to be there as a mannequin and should not think, no intelligence attributed, no power attributed. And the other BJP person who spoke talked about rhetorics, talking about being sensitive. This is not his intention, this is his personal. You are a public office person. How dare you make that kind of a statement? You have been elected by people into power. You are their representatives. You cannot have any intention, any personal opinion that derogates women. And it is our Prime Minister who is talking about Swachh Bharat. What has happened to all the BJP politicians? Swachh thinking and Swachh speech and Swachh action.
Well, we have Gopal Krishna Agarwal who joins us. He's back on the phone with us, who heard you, Brinda Adige. I'm going to give him an opportunity to respond to you. Mr. Agarwal, Brinda Adige is making a very, very good point. Somebody who is in a position of power needs to be responsible about every word that he says. Every word that he says influences younger minds, it influences the people who are listening, and it shows very tellingly on the party that he represents. We demand that action is taken against him immediately. If this government is to be taken seriously about women's rights, here is an opportunity to prove that to us. Gopal Krishna Agarwal.
No, I agree with Bindraji's her agitation about the issues. We are all have to be sensitive to the cause of the problems which women are facing in our country. BJP is well aware of them. We are well sensitized to the issues, and there is a larger perspective to the whole issue. You see several advertisements. There is a commodification of women in every sphere. So I say this mindset has to change across all people, even politicians, even ad people, even other areas also require reforms.
But why don't you start at home, Mr. Agarwal?
Respect that definition, and because of that only.
But right now you remove him and set an example.
But why did accountability to the citizens?
Why did Sharad Yadav not give example of Rani Ki Jhansi, that all our women in this country, all my daughters, all are like Rani Ki Jhansis? Why didn't he give that example?
Many segments.
What stopped him from doing that? And Mulayam Singh Yadav some time back was in a public platform dealing, there was a very unfortunate incident of rape. He said, "Galtiyan to ho jati hai jawani mein." Now these are the kind of people we are dealing with in this country.
Spokesperson of the people who have what is their background. So I tell you, this problem is across many segments, across all hierarchy of our society. And if you say at present this is a problem, we are agreeing to that problem, we are sensitive to that problem, we respect the agitation of the women of the country. We have over past several years.
No, Gopal Krishna Agarwal, stay with the problem. What is the solution to this problem that you have acknowledged and you're sensitive to? What is the solution to the problem? What will you do now? What will the BJP do? What action are you going to take?
We distance ourselves from his statement, and we have said particularly that these are his personal remarks. Party does not subscribe to those remarks.
That's not enough. I'm sorry, Mr. Gopal Krishna Agarwal. With all due respect to the central government of this country, that is not enough to distance yourself from the comment. You have to distance yourself from the individual. The individual is going to have to be removed from the party and from the Rajya Sabha. And unless you do that, no one will take any word you say about women's rights seriously in this country. And that is just the truth.
But this problem has to be tackled across many segments of the society. When there is advertisements on several advertisements, there are commodification of women.
So the government has to set an example, Mr. Agarwal.
The government has set an example with respecting women.
How?
We have several schemes with regard
What are
to
these
Beti
schemes?
Bachao. We are doing so much on Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. We are doing so much on Ujjwala schemes. There are several benefits that are being provided to women. We have large proportion of our political setup in the party with positions are given to women at high ranking.
But if this is how the members of your party think of women, that they are mere decoration, और हम सुंदर चेहरे को हम भी उतार देंगे मैदान में, then what are you telling me? What respect are you talking about? And let's be honest, if this is the kind of talk that one person lets slip out, then obviously this is the kind of background talk that's happening at some point, somewhere in your election war room.
Then we have mentioned to you that party does not subscribe to this views, and we we respect women. We are sensitive to the problem. We respect the agitation of the people.
वैसे तो Mr. Gopal Krishna Agarwal, the very concept of Beti Padhake, we will make her Kabil. What is the point if you think of her as a sundar chehra anyway?
I am saying particularly, we have been discussing that these kind of remarks are not well taken. They are individual. Party does not subscribe to those views. That I think what action or what steps we have to see. You have to see in our actions also. You cannot.
I'm waiting to see the actions, Mr. Agarwal. I'm waiting to see the action. I'm waiting to see the action. In fact,
overall line which the party is taking, the overall representation, the women we are giving the respect to the women force in our party. This all thing has to be seen in light of that. And then we are saying that we are not agreeing to those comments, and they are his individual comments, and party does not. That's I think.
Brinda Adige, are these responses satisfactory to you as a citizen of this country?
You cannot have criminal action.
Not.
Simple.
How can you continually go on with your rhetoric that this is a personal remark and the party distances itself? Why can't you tell that you are a politician of my party and I am disciplining you? You, first and foremost, will apologize for irresponsibility, holding public office. Secondly, I have a plea, I have an appeal that maybe it is time for your party to start discussing bringing a legislation to recall politicians who misbehave in public place.
All right, Brinda, let me bring in Shaina NC from the BJP who joins us right now. I'm glad to have Shaina on the show as a woman and as a representative of the party that we're talking about. Shaina NC, you've heard what Brinda just said. She's echoing sentiment of women across the country right now. What action will be taken against the neta in question, who obviously thinks that women are decoration?
Faye, please allow me to answer both questions. In the morning, you had the most bizarre, irrational, condemnable statement by Sharad Yadav, who is by all means a repeat offender. This is not the first time he's passed this kind of comment where he says that winning elections is far more important than keeping a woman's dignity. And he goes on to narrate about how winning is so important from all viewpoints, and how a girl who's gone through a shameful act, it's only known to her household. So there is no rationale and logic. And I think it's also shocking that you have somebody like a Nitish Kumar talking about women and having no statement come out from that party at all. You've had in the past from a Mulayam Singh talk about, boys will be boys and rape was inevitable and forgive and forget and all of that, and there are lots of others from across the board. As a woman in public life and politics, before I come to Mr. Katiyar, I want to say on record that all male counterparts must understand that we are not here as decorative pieces, we're not here as objects, we're not here as commodities, we're here on our own steam due to our own talent, and because we're capable and we have the absolute competitive spirit to stick on in a space by sheer competence. So I don't think we need a certificate from anyone. Now coming to Mr. Vinay Katiyar, was his choice of words wrong? 100% wrong. I don't mind mind being a legitimate voice of dissent within my own party to condemn what he has said when it came to a question that he was asked. He was asked, do you think Priyanka Gandhi is beautiful? To which he said, I think there are many more beautiful women in BJP who are far more articulate, who speak well, who connect with public, etc. If he had just avoided using the words beautiful, pretty, all of that, and stuck to the core issue that we have competent women in our parties who can be a run for any other or who can reach out to voters, I would have not had any objection. The objection is only because of his choice of words. Now, what did we do as a party? You had Venkaiah Naidu as our senior most leader coming on record and saying that yes, we must be very careful about choice of words. People in positions of power, and especially men, when they're talking about women who are in public life and in public space, must not be subjected to this kind of commentary. Now, beyond this, I don't think it is really our contention that there should be anything more. Our leader leads by example. We have Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is a leader par excellence in when it comes to women's respect, when it's championing Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao or various women's causes. I don't think that this is about him or the ideology of a party or the thought process. This is about a single stray comment. Yes, we need to be outraged. Yes, we need to discuss. But more importantly, if we really want to ostracize Faye D'Souza, we must go into the past and see which leaders of which parties have repeatedly made these kinds of comments and what has happened to them. If their parties do not realize that 50% of their vote bank is women, and women have a voice and women will vote and women can vote against too, I don't think we'd be able to achieve anything out of this discussion.
All right. Just to respond to what you said, Shanancy, I appreciate your comments and I understand that as a member of the party that you are also upset at the suggestion that any woman in her job might be decoration. But from what we understand, the question that was asked to the neta that we're talking about, Mr. Katiyar, was, do you believe Priyanka is a star campaigner who will win the election? That was the question. It was not, do you think she is beautiful? But just to take you up on what have people said in the past, and I want to point out members of every political party have said derogatory things about women, and all of them have gotten away scot-free. All of them have gotten away scot-free. I'm just going to put this up on the screen and you can take a look at it. Mulayam Singh Yadav, first girls develop friendships with boys, then differences occur, then they say it is rape. Boys commit mistakes. Will they be hanged for those mistakes? We have Ghulam Nabi Azad of the Indian National Congress saying that in the olden days, people didn't have any entertainment, so they produced children. We should make sure there's electricity in villages so they watch TV, that way they won't produce babies. Abu Azmi of the Samajwadi Party, if a woman is caught in rape, both she and the boy should be punished. Why is there no death penalty against women? Abhijit Mukherjee of the Indian National Congress, these pretty women dented and painted come out for protests. They are not students. Lakshmikant Parasekar of the BJP, girls should not sit on a hunger strike in the hot sun as their fair complexion will become dark and they will no longer find a good groom. I could go on and on, but I don't have enough time, and unfortunately this sort of despicable thing is coming out of every single party in our country. And they're up on the screen to see. Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi of the BJP, women wearing lipstick and powder are the same as terrorists. Shaina NC, member of the BJP, who's still an office bearer. Just to ask you the same question you asked me, what action was taken?
In a democracy, you can't take action against every comment made by every leader, irrespective of which party they are from, and that is the honest truth. What can we as a society do? Yes, we can ostracize, and when women have the power to vote, if it is a Sharad Yadav or a Mulayam Singh Yadav, they know exactly who is for women's rights, who is for women's respect, and who is only treating you as an object or a commodity, it's imperative to understand that there will be lots and lots of logics and rationales given to lots of issues. But if your choice of word is wrong, you cannot really say that, you know, you must resign on the basis of your choice of words. If your action is wrong and you have done something which is wrong within the parameters of law, of course action will be taken. But I think the larger point is that why should men be commenting on women, period? There is no reason to comment. If you want to comment, comment on her good work or her not so good work, on her performance and her competence. Why are you trying to either have a compassionate view to say, oh, wo bichari, to say that, you know, she's that poor girl who's been given a chance, or then to bring somebody down and say she's only reached where she's reached because she's good looking, or she's only done this because she's associated with someone. These are the stereotypical norms that we have to do away with, top to bottom, bottom to top.
Tara Krishnaswamy, the idea that we cannot hold anybody accountable for what they say.
Yeah, it's an absolutely crazy idea. Absolutely, there is free speech, and you know, there is freedom of speech, and that does not mean there are no consequences. What that means is that you get to say what you want, but you also pay the price. So who is supposed to extract the price? There are only two stakeholders here. Number one, the political party to whom this person is affiliated. Sure, you may not be able to throw them out for their words. It depends on the severity of the action. You can certainly discipline them. You can certainly warn them. You can certainly publicly make them apologize. And if they're repeat offenders, then take action. I want to respond to Shaina NC. Mr. Sakshi Maharaj, who is an esteemed member of parliament, 6 times elected, I believe, if I'm not right, he has made derogatory statement after derogatory statement. That's the order of the day with him. And yet he's been given a ticket how many times, by which party? So this is not to do with any particular political party. There are numerous examples from each party that can be given. I also want to respond to Mr. Rahul. He talked about data from Mr. Amartya Sen and from the US. Why don't you take data from our dear India, since we are so devoted to our nation and our culture, right? The sex ratio has dropped in the last 70 years dramatically. So what does it say? That India is getting better for women or worse for women? If women aren't even allowed to live or be born, right? Rapes have increased in India. Why compared to the US? Rape reportage has increased in India. So what do you have to say about that? India is getting worse for women or better for women? All of this is only based on the consequences. If we don't hold people accountable, they are going to get away with anything. Governments are emboldened by their failures. So we've got to hold them accountable. What can people do? One, we have to vote. We got to resign as goddesses. I would urge all women to step down as goddesses. Stop thinking of women as Lakshmi, Saraswati, Parvati, you know, your favorite god or goddess. Be an ordinary person. Don't hide under the fact that we are goddesses. If we are ordinary people, we are entitled to human rights. You don't get to demean us, you don't get to molest us, and human rights apply to us. That's number one. Number two, as far as the vote goes, if you can't determine who to vote for, determine who not to vote for. The UP elections are coming up, the Punjab elections are coming up, the Goa elections are coming up. All the dirty linen is going to come out. You are going to know who not to vote for. Even if the same chap doesn't stand for elections in your state, you know which party not to vote for. If they don't take action against these people, simply don't vote for them. Vote for someone else. Vote for an independent. Vote for who you don't know. The number of independents in Indian parliament at independence was so great.
Rahul Ishwar.
So we have come to the real crux of the issue. This is the feminist politics that is being played by many people. This is the same feminist politics that lost to Donald Trump. This is the same feminist politics that still hold that they have some special right apart from all the other beings on this earth. Please remember, feminist politics is not what we need. We need more culture, more womanism, more pro-woman approach, and more woman empowerment. Rather than alienating males and females, alienating man and woman, we should have more integration. And many people are using these kind of
Rahul, this integration will only happen
and politicize this issue so that they can demean our culture.
Rahul, this integration will only happen if there is a complete change of a mindset. All human beings are equal. That change of mindset is required. Why don't we give examples of exemplary women in our history? Why don't these politicians give those? And this is happening across the board. You had those shocking statements which Faye read out by politicians across the board. What we need is a law, internal party disciplinary action, that these kind of statements will be condemned and you will be demoted in party cadre. If they are made accountable, they will never make these kind of statements. And therefore, this needs to happen. There has to be some introspection, and only by these kind of healthy debates, where we have opinion after opinion and discussion, then only thoughts will emerge.
Let me just bring in Ami Yagnik. Ami Yagnik, feminist politics, Ami Yagnik.
Just one line.
Feminist politics. No, let the women politicians on this panel respond to feminist politics.
Jayalalitha was not a feminist. Mamata Banerjee was not a feminist. Jhansi Rani was not a feminist.
Well, good for them, Rahul Ishwar, but some of us are still feminists. Ami Yagnik, are you a feminist politician?
Yes, I think he is bringing some wrong terminology like feminist politics. This is a simple issue of the human dignity of a human being, here being a woman. We talk about women reservation, we talk about women empowerment, and the Nobel Prize winner Amartya Sen ji has talked about women empowerment through education and to make them participate in the participatory democracy in decision making. So he may not compare India with America. We just go by today's incident whether the BJP is going to take action and start from today itself by showing that there is an accountability procedure, and if they are going to remove him, it will set an example and everything will stop. A woman needs her dignity. That is what the Constitution has promised her, and all the laws that are being made and that have been made in the last 6 decades, whether it is dowry, whether it is sex determination, whether it is domestic violence, or whether it is sexual harassment at workplace, all aim to bring dignity to the woman. And if the men cannot give, then there should be more men on the panels discussing why this mindset is not going away, why they are perpetuating this mindset, and why are the women of the BJP not asking Mr. Katiyar that what is wrong with you? That should have been the first reaction. And here is one person who is an MP, doesn't want to apologize to the women of the country. He wants votes from the women of the country, but he doesn't want to apologize. Nobody from the higher echelons are asking him a question. Nobody is removing him, and
no,
here he
but
goes
Ami
on
Yagnik, let me ask you this. Did you ask Abhijit Mukherjee, Ghulam Nabi Azad, Botsa Satyanarayan, what's wrong with you? Why would you make statements like this?
No, but Shaina NC very frankly has made a statement, and I appreciate what she has said.
Yes, Madam D'Souza. Well,
did the women of the Indian National Congress question the politicians in your party who made statements in the past, Ami Yagnik?
Yes, 1 minute. But yes. See, all of them have been told at some point of the time or at that point of time, and they have refrained, and they have been told whatever they had to be told by the higher leadership. You don't find any statement, but you can't go back all the time and say that, well, you did not do that. Today I am speaking as a woman, I am speaking as a citizen
you have
of this
still
country.
not condemned your own party
Let there be action by the BJP.
You must hear what Shaina NC said just now. We must appreciate her frankness. Shaina NC has very frankly said, please hear that. And you should condemn your own party people when they have said anything against women.
I am talking of what they are in power today. They promised women's safety, women dignity. So let them begin action today. Let them do it. Why do you insult 50% of the population today? That is the talk today. Today is the issue. Don't bring all political parties. I am talking as a woman. What is going on? And what are the men not? Why are the men also not sending a message to their brothers? That well, let us change the mindset. Why are men not coming forward and telling Mr. Katiyar?
Shaina NC wants to respond.
Shaina NC,
let me please come in.
Shaina NC, go ahead.
Faye, isn't it ironical that the Congress party is sermonizing us when our leadership and Venkaiah Naidu has come on record to say that leaders should not use this kind of terminology when it comes to women? What did they do when it was Digvijay Singh or Ghulam Nabi Azad or Mr. Mukherjee? Was there even a comment? There wasn't even a comment. So let me not go into some kind of competition. It's most ironic, Faye, that the way you're discussing Vinay Katiyar's misuse of word and not intent, you're not even discussing Sharad Yadav's misuse of words and intent both. where both are so despicable, both are so condemnable, and we are only discussing Mr. Katiyar. I think that this
Shaina,
is not about one-upmanship or who is worse. It is about the larger issue, and the larger issue
that is not a misuse
about
of words.
men objectifying
The intent
women
is very
in
clear when he
public life,
explains the whole
which
sentence.
we are all condemning. Ami Ben, the way you have asked about our party, can you just go back in time and tell me even if one clarification from one Congress leader on those hundreds of comments given by multiple leaders from Digvijay Singh to Ghulam Nabi Azad to Mr. Mukherjee to however many others?
Let me just clarify here. Let me just clarify here that we condemn, as we did from the beginning of the show. Shaina, you joined us in the middle of the show, but from the beginning of the show, we condemn both of the statements and every statement that has been made in the past, because it just continues to reinforce the fact that women are decoration, they're not to be taken seriously, and worse still, Sharad Yadav's statement that for some reason, women are embodiments of some false sense of honor that the men of their families might have or the men of their villages might have, and this, if not anything else, just perpetrates more and more crime. Tara wanted to respond. Tara, go ahead. You've heard responses from both parties.
Yeah, I want to make a couple of comments here. You know, there was initially a big deal made out of how the women are outraged and the women are emotional in hearing these comments. It was made on this panel by Mr. Rahul, right? I want to point out that yesterday you had the Urban Debate Fair. I had I was able to participate in that. It was 6 women. Everybody took their turn speaking. Everybody spoke calmly. The issue was graver. It was about rape. It was not just about commentary, right? And today it's about commentary, and I must say there is a lot of speaking over and shouting, and so perhaps the men should calm down, number one, okay? Number two, I want to request the press, including Magic Bricks now, to not just pay attention to these statements, egregious statements made by these people, but continually reflect on this, continually, put the spotlight on this, and actually show a gender scorecard as we head towards elections. Women should know how their politicians are faring based on how they treat women as a constituency. That's 50% of the population. Not just what kinds of comments are they making. Are they walking the talk? 660 centers for 244 crores were proposed as part of the Nirbhaya fund by Ms. Priyanka Gandhi herself of the BJP, and in the last budget it was cut down to 18 crores. 18 crores. Okay, so how is that sufficient to do rape crisis counseling? One per state. This makes no sense at all. Where is the question of running programs for women? Programs are not being run for women. This kind of gender scorecard should be flashed by the media so that people know who not to vote for. In this melee, it's very difficult to figure out who to vote for, but certainly we can figure out who not to vote for. That's number one. Number two, I would encourage women to come, and men, right-thinking men. This is not men versus women. This is sexist people versus non-sexist people, and I believe there are a lot of right-minded people in this country, which is why we have come so far. We have a fantastic constitution, mostly devised by men, right, which guarantees equality. So I'm not trying to put down men here, but what I'm saying is that what men and women can do, right-thinking men and women, is to come out and vote in local body elections. 50% is reserved for women, and women should be voted for, and women should be given seats in general category as well, which is the place you can actually evaluate people, right? You can evaluate if they put the money, local money, if they spent it on street lights, if they spent it on designing the urban spaces for safety of women. You can actually evaluate a scorecard and vote. You're not going to change the top without changing the bottom. The bottom is much wider than the top.
Absolutely, very well said, and we will, like I've made the commitment.
You are a feminist vote bank. Why don't you be clear on that?
We are. What do you mean, Rahul Ishwar? Please explain to us. What do you mean, feminist politics, feminist vote bank? Please explain to us what you mean.
She said that, feminist vote bank. She clearly said, it is a feminist vote bank that needed. That's all we are saying. They are playing politics with the women issues. These feminists are not sincere. They want a feminist vote bank so they can be netas, so they can play leaders. They have exposed themselves, and I should thank them for this.
Tara, please respond.
50% of the voting population is women, of course. What is he talking about? Naturally, if women women are already organized. You know, at the grassroots level, you have microfinancing, you have various Mahila organizations, even in the villages. They get together for various reasons, for discussing sanitation, they get counseling on, reproductive health and so forth. All it takes is for the women to talk about who to vote for in the upcoming elections, who is working, who is not working. For women, vote,
thank you for being honest.
Is selfish. Vote is not for someone else. It's a personal vote. You should vote selfishly based on what you are going to get. Where you means you, your family, your children, your people, right? Your friends, your population, your country. But first comes you. If women don't vote selfishly, they are not going to get what they want. It also seems that India as a whole, we are confused as a voting population.
Right.
We first decide who wins and then we vote. We think if I vote an independent, he won't win. Who said that? She will win. In fact, she doesn't need to win. The more important thing is to make sure the sexist neta loses.
All right. Rahul Ishwar, quick response and then I have to wrap up this conversation. I'll get a response from you and then from China and from Avi.
I'm so thankful to them because I'm a very lonely I was a very lonely voice, but they have exposed themselves. They are playing politics. They have even told that in numerous words that it is a political ploy that they want. They want to create victimism for women. But we are more sincere about the cause. We acknowledge our mistakes, but we are ready to correct. This is feminism versus womanism. This is feminism versus feminism. We right-wingers are already proud of and always proud of. We will fight against these feminists so that we can put forward a narrative of womanism and woman empowerment.
All right, I have run out of time on this conversation. On that note, I want to appreciate the things that have been said on this panel. Especially,
I think.
All right, China, go ahead. I'll give you a few seconds. China, go ahead.
Chalo. Faye, few seconds. I don't think this is about a feminism battle or about male misogynists or any of that. This is only about mindset, Rahul, and this is only about mindset in the 21st century, where how are women being viewed. We struggle so hard to be in this field, this big bad world of politics, and then to be just known as one odd face is not on. We need to be known only on basis of competence and performance, and as they say, perform or perish for all genders. True. Whether it's male or female.
All right, I'm going to wrap up this conversation, China. On that note, thank you very much. Rahul Ishwar, let me just give you a little spoonful of honesty from my end here. It's not about politics. It's the fact that the current system doesn't work for us. And we are, like has been pointed out repeatedly on this panel, half of this country. We'd like to be half of this country, but the gender ratio is appalling, so we're a little less than half of this country. But a little less than half of this country is enough to take back the power, which we will do, because we all have the right to vote. And while it might be a drop in the ocean on this channel, as has been suggested and as has been promised repeatedly, we will put out information of the gender report card of everyone who gets a ticket, including in the BMC elections here in Mumbai, in UP, in Punjab and in Goa. We will constantly bring you these stories. We'll constantly have uncomfortable conversations. And we'll constantly give you opportunities, Rahul Ishwar, to find us over-emotional, overreaching feminists who plan to take this country back. Thanks for watching.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at magicbricksnow. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.